In this episode of the Discourse of Human Events, Zach and Cody are once again joined by Reverend Corey to talk about cigarettes and pies. They also talk about Coral Sagan, comics, and Obamacare.
Enjoy!
Enjoy!
Here we go. One step at a time, don't be living on the line. I don't need a friend, I got more than on the mind. Sunshine in my brain, making everyone complain. Radio in the heart, don't be being so strange. Think I'm losing it, baby, where have you been? Everybody says that you're moving again. I don't wanna be right, baby.
Okay, this is the Discourse of Human Events, and we have special guest Corey today, and of course Cody. And we're going to be talking about some e-cigarettes, and that's our jumping off point. So Cody's little story is, what's going on with them now?
Apparently, a lot of countries are against e-cigs because they just don't understand them, but they're actually proven to be more healthy than regular cigarettes because you're just inhaling the nicotine and you can slowly dose down on the nicotine and eventually quit smoking cigarettes. But e-cigarettes are good because they're just like a cigarette. Like the tip lights up all red and you hold it in your hand just like a regular cigarette and you get your nicotine fix.
Yeah, I know Gib had that one that was like a screwdriver looking thing.
Oh yeah,
I want to try one sometime. Does it actually taste like a cigarette or what?
No, it tastes like water.
Tastes like water?
Kind of like a cigarette.
Yeah.
Tastes like a watered down cigarette.
Yeah, it doesn't have that burnt ashtrays taste.
Right. But if you're still not used to inhaling large amounts of nicotine, you'll still get the cough. You'll still hack.
Yeah, if you inhale too hard.
It's the only downsides I see is as for trying to use it as a quit smoking thing is you don't have to go outside to do it, and you take one hit, set it down, and continue doing that. So there's no.
You can always have it on you, and you can always use it.
We took a trip with my mother, and she literally every time I looked at her had that thing in her mouth. As to where if it was a cigarette, we would have had to stop, but she would have been using it less than when I turn around and she's got the e-cig in her mouth and her iPad in front of her and not paying attention to the six of us in the car with her.
But is it more healthy to do that or to just take the more toxic cigarettes and smoke the toxic fumes in from the combustible parts of the plant?
I would say yes as a replacement, but I don't know anybody that's successfully used it for quitting. That doesn't mean it doesn't work for quitting. It's just I've never met anyone.
Yeah, I don't think it would.
I as someone who enjoyed smoking back in the day before my asthma got as bad as it gets when you smoke and have asthma. I would have enjoyed having it back then because the hardest part about quitting is having your best friend in your hand. You're going through something stressful and got that thing in your hand that's always there for you. And that's why my dad has so much trouble quitting is, he's going through all this divorce and stuff, and now he's back up to
that's when people always start back again, is when they go through some kind of stressful situation. But I don't see it getting them to quit, but just switching over to that basically is what seems like would happen.
And you make them cool looking kids will do that instead of buying cigarettes.
But still, like he said, it might be healthier.
Right.
Yeah, the increased amount of nicotine you would get just from being able to do it all the time might outweigh the harmful effects.
And I've honestly considered carrying one because in an emergency situation, nicotine is a lifesaver for an asthmatic.
Yeah.
Because the nicotine will open your lungs up to where you can get other medicines in.
Do you have an EpiPen or something?
I do have
an
EpiPen. It's in my car. I should probably carry it on me.
I was about to say, hope you don't have an asthma attack right now. You're fucked.
It's in my briefcase in my car, which is unlocked, but if you were to guess the code, it would probably take you half an hour or something. Just sitting there and trying to sign you the code.
So wait, you have it locked?
No, it's not locked. I never locked my briefcase, but it's in my briefcase.
Oh, okay, I was about to say, if you had it in a locked briefcase, that would be outrageous.
Sitting there trying to thumb it with one eye half open. I'm dead.
How many times have you been pinned?
I've never had to use it.
Never?
I am ridiculously overcautious about what I eat, and my wife can say
Do those
that.
go bad?
Yeah, they've got I think a year and a half shelf life, and they give you 2 at a time. I usually get 2 prescriptions a year, so I'll have 4 a year.
Oh, they give you 2 prescriptions. I was gonna say, why would they give you 2?
Well, no, they give you
double pinned.
Well, they give you 2 just in case you use one and you need one again, I guess.
If the epinephrine wasn't enough for you the first time.
And you live life on the edge and you're constantly doing things that could get you poisoned with what you're allergic to. Stick it. My boss had to use one, didn't know he was deathly allergic to bees and became a beekeeper on the side. Like he bought a bunch of bees and started collecting honey.
Wow.
And one got underneath his suit and stung him, and he almost kicked it. Like they had to give him the epi and then rush him to the hospital.
I imagine a beekeeper place too. They just have pins on hand.
Yeah, well, he had it just because he was allergic to something random. I don't remember what it was, but it was bad enough that he had to have the pen. And then he found out this, and he's like, "Screw it!" And just And I've done the test ones, and if it takes as much effort to stick yourself in the leg, that'll be a nice big bruise on my leg if I ever have to do it, because it's spring activated needle of death. You have to shove in your leg.
Oh fuck you! If you're going out here, dude, I'm gonna do it freaking Pulp Fiction style and stab you right in the chest.
You gotta like break through the sternum with that.
Yeah.
If you do it that way, like you get a little shot to the chest.
The needle on the EpiPen is like a quarter of an inch. All you're gonna do is give me a bruise on my chest.
I'm just gonna be an asshole that's pounding on your chest with a needle.
It's supposed to go in somewhere fatty, and that might just be. Yeah, I said right in the hip muscle area.
Is it basically it can be punctured anywhere?
Yeah,
pretty much.
They just say that's the easiest to get a swing to.
Oh,
it's interesting. It's scary. I said whenever I eat at my in-laws' house, I always have to stop them because my mother-in-law is forgetful, and I'm like, "Have you put anything that will kill me in your food?" And one time, her dad's weird about textures. He doesn't like the texture of nuts, but he likes the taste. Yeah. So he made cake one time and ground it into, like, the peanuts into, like, a powder almost.
Yeah, so you couldn't tell.
And Gina's looking through the cake, and she's like, it doesn't look like it have nuts. And I had, like, half a bite. And instantly my mouth starts getting itchy. I'm like, you want to bet? And I downed half a bottle of Benadryl, and I keep liquid Benadryl on me as well. Yeah. And sat there. And Gina's like, are you alright? And I'm like, you're going to need to stop talking. I'm like, I need to concentrate on making sure I'm still okay.
That's funny.
And I pulled through. I sweat for a while and got drowsy from the stuff. But my mouth got all fat and whatnot. It was weird.
You're going to like OD on Benadryl one day. Just fucking down.
Half a bottle won't absolutely kill me. It might put me in the hospital for an asthma problem. But it won't kill me.
Yeah. Do they have, for those cigarettes, do they have different flavors, or is it just like a basic
They have different strengths of nicotine you can buy.
Yeah, but they don't have flavored.
They probably do have flavors, but Gibson never had any. Like I'm not a smoker, so I'm not really like
whatever.
Too studied on this.
I know you're out there smoking your electronic cigarette all the time.
But I know for weed, they would definitely have different kinds of hash oil you could use that would probably taste different. And they do actually have the vaporizers for weed. It doesn't even have to be oil. They found a way just to make it. You can just put the bud in there.
Really?
And it's just like they look just like e-cigs. Some of them do, and you can.
But you could put like actual bud in there.
And you just like screw it together, and like the heating element just like heats it up and like pushes the vapor through.
When is Colorado actually passing those laws?
It goes into effect, I think, in January.
I knew they had till like October or something to do it, but I didn't know when they actually were planning on it.
They do, in fact, have flavored e-cigarettes.
They do.
I'm Googling now and looking for the actual...
Google the savior.
My Google foo. Yes, I'm 18. Stop asking.
It's so silly on websites. Are you 18? Yes. I've been clicking this since I was 12, though.
That's awesome. Popular flavors include ginger, mint, vanilla, and coffee.
Coffee flavored? Ew, that sounds kind of gross for a cigarette.
Because I hate coffee flavor, I agree. They also have whiskey and brandy flavors. I need to find out if they have an e-cig pipe, just so I can have a stupid ass pipe to walk around with.
Does it even produce like any smoke at all? Like, can you like exhale some?
You can see some of the water vapor coming out.
Yeah. But you can hold it in long enough to where that just like dissipates inside you too. Yeah. Because Gibson used to do that when we'd be indoor.
He would just hold it?
Yeah. Some people would like give him the funny look if he'd like let out a little vapor. What the fuck?
Did he say you ever gotten like somebody called him out on it or anything?
Uh-uh.
No. Does it even smell when you?
No, I've never smelled
At
it.
first, you can get like a hint of it, but then
Yeah.
it dissipates just like.
It's just really quick.
Yep, like.
Weak on the vapor and weak on the smoke.
They actually, okay, here's a much better list of it. Wow, there's,
All kinds of flavors.
yeah,
So basically anything you can think of for.
candy cane, Mai Tai Punch, cinnamon apple. It's ridiculous. You can get it to taste whatever you want. Nice clove. There we go. Be in heaven. Get me some clove e-cigs.
Clove?
I used to smoke clove cigarettes as a kid, which is terrible. They're so
Is
bad.
it cloves
for you.
like the
like the
really
the
cheap
spice.
kind?
No,
The
usually
brown
cloves are more expensive.
Uh-huh.
Like the big cloves, like Marlboro cloves, if they still make them, were all black, which was
Oh, okay, I know which one they are. Yeah.
They're delicious. And, they used to claim in the '60s they were advertising to kids with Joe Camel, and now we got tobacco that tastes like candy, and
Yeah.
you don't have to taste tobacco anymore when you smoke
Camel
tobacco.
tried to do that, like.
Yeah, they had
years
that
ago.
whole
They had,
series.
like peppermint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they were all sparkly and like there were cartoon figures on the box. Like, they probably got in trouble for
They
that.
did.
Yeah, they did. I don't even think they can use Joe Camel anymore.
Well, they can't use Joe Camel, and you can't sell flavored, like candy flavored tobacco at regular stores anymore.
Yeah.
You have to go to a smoke shop to pick it up. Age restriction being the reason, which reminds me, friend Mark foiled a attempt at. They tried to bust him for selling underage.
Oh, yeah?
They sent
Where
a kid
at?
in. He works at the liquor store in Kroger now.
Yeah.
Which is Fox guarding the hen house.
Oh, they were trying to get him. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he was working the cash register.
Yeah.
And they sent a 19-year-old kid in to buy O'Doul's non-alcoholic beer, but it still has enough alcohol in it to where you have to be 21 to buy it. And it's like Mark's fourth day, so he's like, "No, let me see some ID."
Yeah.
And then I guess they congratulated him or something on not selling alcohol to a minor. Meanwhile, our buddy Harry
Yeah,
did get
he
in
got
trouble
yeah.
for selling tobacco to a minor.
At the good old drug mart. Did you ever get in trouble for selling to minors or anything?
No, I could always tell. When
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
But if you came in and you had a credit card,
Yeah.
I would just let you have it because I knew it wasn't a sting. Like,
Yeah,
I
they
would
have to
use
use cash, yeah.
Yep, it's gonna be cash. Like if you were paying for cash and you were kind of young, I'd ask for the ID. But
Yep. That was a good way to do it. Sort them out. I never even thought of that. I usually just carded if they looked somewhat young.
one time when I worked there, I went in with Brandon. One time when I worked there, I went in with Brandon and I had him buy me like a bunch of beer, like a
Yeah.
lot, like a whole. We got a cart and like filled this bitch up with like $60 worth. And Bill was working and he saw us walking around. And I was still like 20,
Yeah.
and I was like, whatever.
Whatever,
He
Bill.
just went up and like he got it for me. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Target wipes your ID. Like they have
Yeah.
a reader that'll actually read an ID. Because we bought Gina's dad some liquor yesterday.
Yeah, a lot of places are just switching to where it's just you have to swipe an ID to ever even sell it, even if the person's like 80.
And I'd be okay with that. I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm 20.
it's not that much of a hassle to hand them a card.
Right.
and whatever.
My dad gets all up in arms when he gets carded because he's like 55 now.
Yeah.
I'm like, get over it. It's swipe, you're done. Congratulations, get out.
Yeah, it's like keep your ID on you and you don't have any problems.
But my dad's one of those old school Republicans that wants things to be the way they used to be. When you could beat children and
Yeah,
sell
let's say the
people.
delusional way
Yeah.
where nothing bad ever happened. I hate when people talk about the old days where they're like talking about nothing bad ever happened, and it's like no, lots of bad things did happen, and that's
It's
why
just-
we're smartened up about it. We're
Here's the thing.
cautious.
Nothing bad ever happened to that old white guy you're talking to.
Yeah, that's true. But there's also like in Indiana there was like this girl where they kept her in a basement and like put out cigarettes on her
Yeah,
and all
see?
kinds of crazy stuff. It's like that shit happened back then too. It's just
They're
it's more out in the open now with all the technology.
instant media.
And, yeah.
Something can happen, and you can guarantee if it was funny or bad enough, within 20 minutes there'll be at least 1,000 YouTube videos about it.
Yeah, like freaking Hostess. Holy shit! Like
Oh, good. God,
everything on
Hostess.
Reddit is about Hostess right
so
now.
many pictures of Zombieland guy looking
Yeah.
so sad.
All right, my goddamn Twinkies.
And that's a perfect example of how unions can ruin things.
Yeah.
Because Hostess was already bankrupt, and they couldn't afford to pay scabs to come in and pay or work. And So they're like, if we don't get people back in here working by this date, we're done. And nobody showed up for work. So they're like,
fuck it.
Now, everybody's freaking out because there's not going to be Twinkies. There's going to be Twinkies.
Yeah,
Somebody will buy that recipe off a bankrupt-ass company because they're not going to hold on to it.
Exactly.
And then there'll be new and improved Twinkies from Little Debbie, who is raking in the money at this point.
Yeah, I was about to say Little Debbie's probably going to be the one to cash in on it.
We're at Kroger's randomly, and I'm like...
Or Disney will buy it. Fuck!
The only place you'll be able to buy Twinkies is Disney. Zombieland comes true. You have to go to...
You have to go to an amusement park to get Twinkies.
Exactly.
Oh, Zombieland sequel is going to be great.
Can they make a sequel to a movie that only had 4 people left in the world at the
They
end?
already said they're going to make a
Are
sequel
they?
to it, yeah.
But yeah, we stopped by Kroger's, and I'm like, let's walk by the hostess side and see what's there. And then there was like 2 boxes of Ding Dongs left.
That's silly.
And people were just raiding it because Twinkies do have a shelf life, so they better be eating all those. I know it's like a 10-year shelf life, but who could eat that many Twinkies?
People are outrageous. Like, who actually goes, oh no, all the Twinkies are going to be gone, I better buy them all.
So, you know, the last time I had a Twinkie was probably like 02. So it's been 10 years since
that's what I said. I was like, I don't remember the last time I had a Twinkie at all.
I take that back. And they might not have actually been Twinkies, but they were advertised as such. At Kings Island in Cincinnati, I had a deep-fried Twinkie because I was hungover and making bad decisions. And that was 2 years ago. So it's been 2 years since I had any yellow cake pastry.
Was it awesome?
Oh, it was. That and the deep-fried Oreos were delicious. But like I said, hungover. We also got, this is how fat-ass I am, a whole leg of turkey smoked.
That'd be so awesome.
And it's just this giant leg, and I'm just, I hate myself for this. I'm just eating it.
I would eat a giant leg. That'd be
Gina's got a picture of me just standing there like this with my
giant leg of meat.
Yeah, and we ate about half of it.
When's the last time you've ate a Twinkie? I bet you don't remember either.
Oh yeah, I don't even remember, man.
Yeah, exactly. I think I would just guess sometime when I worked at Drug Mart. At some point in time, because that's when they're just, I might have walked by and like, Twinkie, I haven't had one of those in a while and bought it. But other than that, they're not really that good.
Guy.
Pie is pretty
Big
delicious.
fan of pie.
Yeah.
Cupcakes.
Pumpkin, cherry, blueberry, lemon meringue, pecan.
Man.
Pecan's pretty good.
Never had it.
Pie.
I wonder why.
Another example of my mother-in-law trying to kill me. She asked me what kind of pie we want Thursday, and she was naming off pies, and she's like, pecan's really good, and I just sort of tilted my head, and she goes, shit, and just walks away, and I'm like, love you, P, it's okay.
I'd have to say cherry pie is probably my favorite.
Cherry peach cobbler's good, but
Ooh,
I guess
peach
that's
cobbler.
not a pie.
That's pie-ish.
You put a crust under it, it's a pie.
Yeah,
right?
cobbler's pretty much pie.
It's good stuff.
Peanut butter. Have you ever had a really good peanut butter pie?
I don't think I've ever had a peanut butter
Sorry,
pie. Corey, I don't know if you know this, but nuts are delicious.
But they make the creamy peanut butter filling, and then they put like a layer of chocolate and a layer of cream, and it's fluffy peanut butter.
I've never had that.
I've had soy peanut butter, which according to my wife tastes almost exactly like peanut butter, and it's disgusting. So if that's what I'm missing out on, I'm okay. And it might be all in my head because it smells like peanut butter. They put something in it to make it smell like it, and I get it to my mouth, and my brain goes, "Don't do it. It's a bad idea." And I'm like, I have to fight myself to get me to put the spoon of peanut butter in my mouth.
Yeah, I could see how it would.
It's like that whole, if you're snorkeling or diving, taking the first breath underwater, they say, is always ridiculously hard. I could see forcing your brain to have to take a breath when you're surrounded by water.
Yeah.
I know a guy who lived in a tank of liquid oxygen for a week and fully submerged.
What the hell was that noise?
Something from his... But he was fully submerged, where he was breathing the liquid oxygen. And he said the hardest part was taking that first breath to convince his brain it's okay to have liquid in his lungs. And then the second hardest part is coughing that shit up.
Yeah, I've never had.
They say it's really good for asthmatics.
Well, I'm sure it is. Just
pure oxygen.
A hit of oxygen.
And I'd love to go down to like a salt mine, because they say the purest air in the world is inside of a salt mine.
Yeah.
They have people that build little huts down there and live there for weeks at a time.
Are we ever going to run out of salt?
I'm sure we probably could, but it's an awfully abundant...
Is there that much of it? We've been using salt for years and years.
I was going to say,
we can't run out of salt with the ocean. We use sea salt.
That's one of those
Mining
conspiracy
salt?
theories with people why sea salt is more popular now. Is because
They think they're running out.
Well, not necessarily running out, but they're cutting back, and it's
Mm-hmm.
supposedly healthier for you than the salt that comes out of the ground.
Yeah,
You gotta
that's
use
supposed to
like
be
twice
healthier.
as much sea salt to get the saltiness
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
regular salt.
Which there probably gets rid of the whole healthy portion when you're
Yeah.
doubling your sodium intake. The only time I've ever bought sea salt was Gina got her back pierced, and water with sea salt in it helps heal and clean wounds. So,
Would it be like just Epsom salt? Would
oh no, it's supposed to be sea salt
That's
according to the guy who pierced her. Which sage words from a guy with a 4-inch hole in his face, but I guess he would know. So we put these sea salt baths on her back every night. She kept those rings for a good year and a half.
Yeah.
Most people don't put up with them that long because they never really heal. Your back's always moving constantly,
Yeah.
and you got to sit on it, so that never really gets a chance to heal. She had 8 rings in her back and a corset designed for a year and a half.
That is dedication to.
Especially, I would have stopped the first time one surfaced, which is the body rejected it and just slowly pushed it through the skin.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there one day with like one little itty bitty piece of, and I was cleaning it. I'm like, love, this is gonna fall out if I clean it. And she goes, well, go ahead and try. And it right in my hand. And I'm like, ew, yeah, it's out.
It's so weird how the body just rejects things. It just knows. Foreign object. We gotta get rid of this, guys.
Yeah, it was weird.
But cherry pie's the best.
Cherry
in
pie.
summary.
Indeed. I do like some cherry pie. I think Warrant said it best.
Who?
They sing the song Cherry
What?
Pie.
No, I hear you
Warrant.
say. Oh, Warrant. Who knows that?
I know who sings Cherry Pie. I also listen to shitty 70s rock music.
That's outrageous that you know the band Warrant.
I've actually met them. They played in some shithole bar up the road.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Wet Spot, I think is the
I think
name of the bar.
that's evidence of why you should not know their name. That they played in Mansfield.
That was in Galleon, which is worse. But Great White played over there before they killed the drummer in that fire.
Great White.
Yeah, I don't remember any good songs they played, but
Yeah.
they were famous for a song. They were another one-hit wonder. From
Do you
the-
just go to every concert around here, or
I
what?
got a buddy who's obsessed with that
Shitty bands?
Yeah, that era music, and so we go to random concerts like that.
Okay.
And it's free at a bar in Galleon, so
Going to any Twisted Sister concerts lately?
I need to.
I say a joke and you take it seriously.
Yeah, I'm sad I missed Rush a couple months back. or last month.
Rush is okay. Well, you're allowed to watch Rush without any hassles.
Let's see what Great White sang, because now I'm sad that I don't know it. It's probably better at their wiki page. But no, I go to the shitty bands all the time. Hell, I go to our friends' concerts all the time.
That would classify as shitty.
My little sister tried to get me to go to Indianapolis yesterday for a concert for her boyfriend, and I'm like,
They're
no.
going to Indianapolis?
They do tours all around Ohio with these. They're not famous. It's a church tour. They play at big churches, and discography.
Pretty much automatic billing at that point if you're doing churches.
Oh yeah, it's free money essentially.
If I had a band, I would pretend to be a Christian until we got to a church. And then when we got on stage, I'd save that like super satanic song. Just talk about how much we hate God and He doesn't exist. Or
It's death metal.
yeah.
So the people at these concerts don't think these kids are saying. I can understand them because it's what I listen to.
Yeah.
But most people hear a death metal singer and they're like, I have no idea what he's talking about.
I listen to some metal and I still don't understand a lot of what they say. Like I have to read Mushroom Head lyrics a lot to
Once
get some of
bitten,
it.
twice shy.
Once bitten, twice shy is what?
A Great White song.
Still don't know it. That didn't help. That didn't help your case at all.
That's all I got. That's the only one that could. Yeah, I got nothing. but yeah, going to these Christian rock shows are hilarious, and there's politics in it because if a band does something that's unchristian, the people turn on them real bad. Like, guy got caught with not even an underage girl, just a girl in his hotel, and end of the world to these Christian kids. They're like, oh, they're not Christian, and I'm like, it's a band. They may be a Christian band, but they're still a band. You're in a band for 2 reasons. It's fun to play music. Girls want to have sex with you.
Yep.
That's it.
That is it. In summary.
And unless we'll go for heavy bands anyway. There might be some mom and pop rock bands that are in it for the glory of God, but they're in it for the
But it's still also fun to play music still.
yeah. It's where the money is.
They're not like playing their guitar like, oh man, this really sucks playing guitar, but it's for Jesus.
Right. You still do it because you love to play.
Exactly.
I only play my bass in my computer room. I don't like audiences. I'm not that good. No matter what my wife says, I'm not that good, so I'm not going to play for somebody.
Yeah, I can barely play my guitars.
The sad part is I'm not that good, and I own a $1,000 guitar and an $800 guitar, and they sit there with just me playing them. When we saw Mushroom Head, their bass player has my Traben, the same exact Traben as I do.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there like, I've never seen an actual band with one of those before. Like, he plays it better than I do.
One day you'll have robot hands and you'll be able to download how to play them.
Dude, the first robot band is going to be amazing. Just all robots playing something awesome.
Here's the funny part, though. You're going to have to pay a premium, though, to play, like, Bach, because, fuck you, you're not that good. Sagan wouldn't put Bach on that satellite they sent out into deep space.
Really?
Because he said he didn't want to show off. They were talking about putting music in it, and they're like, should we put Bach? And he goes, let's not, we want him to hear our good music, but we don't want to show off. And that's not a direct quote at all, so...
Why would they... Isn't that the point, is to show off, kind of?
I don't even know if they actually put it on there, but that was his, because Bach is so amazing.
Was this like that capsule thing that they sent out into space?
It's got the one star that only points in one direction at a time. Yeah. And it has the diagram to where we're at compared to that. Even though they can't prove what that thing is, they figure it's easily identifiable because it's a spinning light. Yeah. So...
But they have no idea what that is?
Yeah, I'm sure they have ideas now, but at the time they
theories, at least. When did Sagan die?
I don't know. His birthday was a couple weeks back.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
His birthday was November 10th. I know that because it was my cake day on Reddit.
Coinciding with Sagan's birthday, that's pretty nice.
Have you ever been to Monsters of Grok?
Monsters of Rock?
Grok. Grok. Yeah. It's a t-shirt website where they take names of amazing, famous scientists and put them in band logos and replace them.
Oh, yeah, you told me about that before,
Like Hawking is in the Wu-Tang Clan logo. I put Sagan's, looks like it's Slayer. Slayer logo. It says Sagan. And I posted that for the cake day bullshit.
That is a pretty cool one.
I'm sad I didn't get more.
Not enough karma?
No, I got like 40 karma for my cake day. How sad's that?
Reddit's on to people's bullshit about karma. They're not like, oh, it's your cake day. Fuck you, I'm downvoting you.
I could never think of anything to post for my cake day.
I've never even noticed my cake day. So
I only know it because if you scroll over or put your mouse over the 2-year member or whatever it is that's underneath your name, it tells you the date.
Yes, I've just never.
And then I'm a nerd and I put it in my. It's the only thing that was in my calendar on my tablet was my cake day.
That's funny.
How sad am I? Carl Sagan died December 20th, 1996, at the age of 62.
I didn't realize he died that long ago.
Yeah. I made Gina watch Cosmos the other day, which they're bringing that back.
Yeah, I heard is that Neil Tyson?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Will be pretty good. Yeah, see, I never really knew about Sagan probably till like a year or two ago.
I read, not knowing who he was, I read Contact right after the movie came out. Because I'm one of the only people I know that liked that movie.
Yeah, I didn't like the movie, but I need to watch it again because I was like 12 or something when I watched it. I was probably like, "What? This is retarded. I don't understand anything."
The book is a whole lot better because Sagan talks better than whatever the screenwriter does. Yeah. And then I read The Demon Haunted World, which is pretty good.
The Demon Haunted World? Is that a Sagan book too?
Yeah, it's Sagan's.
I have the book Contact in my collection of books, just haven't read it yet. I would like to watch the movie again though.
I'm in the middle of reading the Brother Odd Thomas series.
What's that?
Which is a Dean Koontz book series about a kid who can see the spirits of dead people that are stuck on Earth for some horrible reason. They usually died in some horrible, painful way.
The spirits of dead people?
Yeah, they can see dead people.
So it's like Sixth Sense?
Yeah, they can't talk to him, but they can express ideas to him. This came out long before the Sixth Sense did. Yeah. They just came out like the 6th book. And it's also got 2 like comic books. What's that called when it's a really long comic book?
Graphic novel?
Yeah, that's it. There's 2 or 3 graphic novels in the series too.
A really good graphic novel, just because this is sort of on the subject with Sagan, is Logic Comics.
Logic Comics?
Yeah. It's about a famous mathematician. It's been a while since I read it, so I'd have to look it up again. That discovered a bunch of theories in math. It was pretty good though.
I love nerdy comics.
Yeah, this one was it was almost too nerdy for me because it was like, I don't know that much about math. Like,
Honestly, that'd be right up my alley.
Yeah, this is getting. I got it over here.
No, there's a break. I love graphic novels.
It's. What is it about? I'm trying to look to see if it says. Nah, it doesn't say on here about who it was about. Let's see. Russell, Bertrand Russell, Searching for Truth. You want to borrow it? You can borrow it unless you just read on your thing.
Sweet.
That was pretty good though. I like graphic novels.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Went yesterday and got off subject. My wife just emailed me, so you're gonna hear about it. Made me take Christmas card pictures.
Really? Oh, that's what those pictures on Facebook
Yeah.
were for?
We're sending out Christmas cards.
That's
evidently we do that.
You better Reddit it up on those, like do some really silly ones.
Yeah, well, we took some horrible pictures. Like, I made her take what I call a stoic picture, which is like the band picture where nobody's looking at the camera.
Yeah, I know
There's
what
really
you're talking
something
about.
interesting going on over here.
You need one where it's all black and it's just your faces not staring at the
Like
camera.
Freddie Mercury style.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. She took all these pictures and she was whining about them. I'm like, I have the free version of Photoshop. Like, I can fix colors. Color isn't an issue.
By free version of Photoshop, do you mean the illegally downloaded copy of Photoshop from BitTorrent that I also have on my computer?
No, I mean GIMP, the open source version of Photoshop.
Oh, that version. You mean the crappier version of Photoshop that is free?
It works well.
Yeah.
For especially adjusting color levels, it's simple.
Well, if you're not doing anything complicated, something like GIMP will take care of pretty much cropping, resizing, and all
For
those.
logo design and stuff, I use Inkscape, which is like Illustrator.
Why don't you just BitTorrent and get the illegal copies? I know you know how to do this, Corey.
Adobe's cracking down on that, though. It's harder and harder to find a good working copy.
But even if they crack down on the newest version, you just go back one or two versions. They're
13,
pretty much the same.
13, I think, is the last one I was able to find online. But I have it.
It's called 13 now.
Oh, CS3, I think was.
I was about to say CS5 is the last one I've seen.
That's what I have on my computer at work because I have the full version of CS5, including shit I'll never use like Dreamweaver and Premiere.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of stuff.
if I want to make a video, I have Sony Vegas. If I don't need Adobe Premiere for that. I've got the creme de la creme.
Yeah, Sony Vegas is nice.
I
need to get SoundForge so I can stop using Audacity, but I just haven't bothered.
Audacity's nice.
Yeah, Audacity's pretty good for a freeware program.
It gets. I tried to edit something that was like 6.5 hours long, and it's just like, no, you don't have enough computer for this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it can barely handle the 3-hour podcast we do. It's like it takes a little while, and I copy and pasted it into there. It's like, okay, I'm gonna walk away from the computer for a few minutes now and let that copy.
I feel like you're back in '98 when you got your first computer. Like, I entered a command. We'll go get some coffee.
Yeah. Dial up you. Well, connecting to the internet. I'll be back.
My dad trying to use Publisher when we got our first computer.
Yeah.
He's trying to move an image and he just keeps clicking it and moving it, and it's moving like an inch at a time. I'm like, how many times you click? He's like, I don't know, a bunch. You might as well go get a beer. It's gonna be a minute.
Take a nap. Speaking of comics, though, you should have listened to the podcast we did yesterday because we talked about this this comic book character I came up with that his powers all come from his penis. That he got the powers from having sex with an alien.
Awesome.
And the ridiculous parts are, though, his sidekick are two giant hand people, and they jack him off. And according to how they jack him off, he shoots loads. Like, he can shoot like Gatling gun bullets, or he can shoot like shotgun blasts or
what
webs.
if he's having like a stressful day and it's gonna take more than 30 seconds? Because
they're magical hands, dude. That's why it's all good.
I had some grotesque jokes I'm gonna let go about magical somethings. Sometimes it just takes some time.
Oh no, man! All the jokes are great. It opens the door for a whole lot of puns.
Oh yeah.
The problem is I don't know anybody that draws, and I can't draw. I can write the comic, I can't draw it.
Did you know that there's a pun competition every year?
What?
It's in Austin, Texas this year. The guys at Rooster Teeth were talking about it.
What is Rooster Teeth?
They do Red versus Blue, Achievement Hunter, and all that stuff.
They write some good stuff.
Yeah, and they've got a new anime series coming out that looks awesome. It's called Ruby. I'll show you that trailer later. But the giant competition where you come together and tell your best puns.
That is awesome.
So yeah, that's.
Is it kind of like a poetry stand, like you tell
I
a
guess.
story or something?
I was gonna look up videos for it and forgot to.
Poetry content. or pun contest.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
There's probably like a whole underground for it.
There's an underground for everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
That should be one of the rules to the, we've got the rules to the internet. They need the rules to the world. If it exists, there's an underground for it.
Yeah, it's like Rule 35.
Yeah.
Rule 34, for those who don't know, which Cody didn't know this. I don't know how you've been on the internet this long, and Rule 34 is, if it exists, there's porn of it.
And I think like rule, might be 35 is, if it doesn't exist, someone will make it immediately.
Yeah. Okay, so Rule 33 needs to be, if it exists, there's an underground of it.
Alright. Because there's everything. You wouldn't even imagine some of the random shit people are in.
Well, like board games, nobody knows there's a whole
subworld
community
of
board games. Yeah. They don't even realize those kinds of board games exist, let alone an underground of them.
We went to a board game shop in Columbus. Not like a cool underground one, but like a go play one. Yeah. And I'm just like, what is this random shit that I'm sure my friends would love?
Yeah. It is weird how many subcultures there are in the world.
The more you look into them, the more you have a tendency to become those weirdos in those subcultures. Yeah. And then everybody's like, you're into what? I'm like, yeah, shut up.
Then you just got your basic American that watches their TV.
How boring is that? Like?
It's pretty boring.
I mean, I don't really miss TV except for there's some cool stuff that I could watch. And like BitTorrenting isn't always reliable because there was an episode of a TV show, like a Jerry Springer episode I was looking for because evidently somebody I knew was on it. And the torrent was there, but there's no seeds and it's only got 15 leechers. I'm like, fuck it, I'm never going to get this file.
Jerry Springer's a little rough one for torrents. You got to get like Boardwalk Empire, Walking Dead. We have no problems with that.
Game of Thrones.
We don't BitTorrent, by the way. Yeah, we do.
uTorrent, it's the way to go. I think I even have it on my tablet.
And Pirate Bay right now is the only
place
to go.
I like Kick-Ass Torrents.
Kick-Ass Torrents was pretty good. Yeah,
their books
pretty good. Mono Nova is okay now.
Mono Nova.
Was that Mini Nova? And then it was Mono Nova, and now it's just like MN.
Well, that's like they keep pushing like the end host domains on those, so it's like piratebay.se is the most secure at the moment, which this goes out, it's no longer is. And what was it? Demonoid was .me by the time it was done, and then the Ukrainian government gave us the fingers, so screw them.
We downloaded something. There was actually it came with a video that advertised a torrent site. Like it was like a commercial. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It was like, come to this torrent site now. We got this, this, and this. And I went to it. It was like a forum. It was like a really bad.
And have sub trackers are bullshit.
Yeah, it wasn't anything nice like Demonoid.
If you were willing to risk getting on someone's radar, there are other ways about getting torrents that are better, but you have to download software that's generally the only people that have the software are hardcore hackers and child pornographers kind of thing. And it's one of those things where you have to know the website before you can go to the website. You just can't find the website. Yeah.
Well, it's like the that one program you can download where they like not legally, but they sell drugs. Right. Like, I forget what it was called, but
FedEx is being investigated for facilitating the sales of prescription medicine across country lines. Really? The U.S. government's investigating FedEx for helping or not stopping people from importing prescriptions from Canada.
Well, I mean, what are they going to do if you...
Drugs are fucking expensive, and it's mostly old people that actually need the drugs that are doing this, because...
Like people in cancer treatments and stuff like that.
Right, because they can't afford what drugs cost in America. Yep. And why would you pay it on purpose?
Oh, did I put those in there? I did put those in there.
How long is it supposed to cook?
Yeah. I forgot about them in here. They're probably getting finished. Woo. But yeah, I can't believe I went to that website before and it was kind of weird. It was like
it always amazes me the little websites you run across that end up being great. Yeah. Like there used to be like a Mad Max's emulators, and a dude had like 600 different emulators and every game you could ever want to play. And
burnt some of that brown sugar.
It got really popular, so the guy had to go log in only. Because it was just all the stuff was available. And we contacted him, got logins, and then eventually the FBI raided, because it was just a guy in California, and the FBI
That's
raided
funny.
him for giving, because he literally had every Nintendo game ever released and Super Nintendo up for download.
Yeah.
And this was in the early 2000s when the government was hardcore going after.
They're never, now that it's all there, you're never going to get rid of it on the
Right.
internet. Once it's open, it's open. Somebody has it on their computer somewhere.
These people need to find a way to profit off of it without shutting it all down. Because
Profit off of what?
off
Like,
of their
the actual dude.
no their IP.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's guys that don't sue over this stuff, and those guys still make money. You can have it for free, but if you want to donate $5 or whatever, is a much better build than saying.
Mostly what you have to do is you got to capitalize on the brand. Like South Park, they have every episode they've ever had online for free for download.
Right.
But there's so much memorabilia for South Park. They've probably made half their money just from
I was
that.
gonna say, and those guys don't need money at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
They won Tonys at this point. They don't need money. Which Book of Mormon is going to be in Cleveland next year.
What
Really?
is it?
The guys from South Park took that episode that they did about Mormonism and turned it into, they parlayed it into an amazing Broadway show.
Fuck, I forgot to use oil on this bitch.
Not coming off very well.
No, not at all.
But yeah, I saw, if you Google the Book of Mormon, it'll show they did like a 5-minute section of it for the Tonys.
Yeah.
And they won a Tony. Or they've won a lot of Tonys at this point. Who would have ever thought Matt and Trey Parker would...
Dude, they're great writers. I mean,
Yeah.
is it a musical?
Yeah, it's a musical. It's amazing.
I don't doubt it.
It's about a couple Mormons going on a mission to, like, Uganda.
Why
I'm
you
trying-
kinda-
Just some African country.
just
And
spread
trying to
their religion.
convert these warlords to Mormonism.
That's funny.
Yeah, but it's a musical and it looks great, and I'm gonna get stuck. I mean, I get the joy of going to that and Wicked next June. They're both one's in Cleveland, one's in Columbus in the same month.
What's Wicked?
Wicked is the story of Wicked Witch of Oz, or Wizard of Oz, which is the actual name, from the witch's point of view and her upbringing. And
I heard that's actually a good book.
This will come out after Christmas, so I got it for my wife, so I'll be able to know whether or not it's good by the end of next month. But yeah, everybody says it's a great book.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good.
And he's got a whole series like that. Like he's got Son of a Witch, which is the story of the Wicked Witch of the West Kid.
Will you die if you eat these?
No, I should be fine. I'll give it a taste. What's the jelly?
It's like your ketchup.
Peanuts. Pure peanuts.
I soaked those in peanut oil before I cooked them, by the way.
Awesome.
Obviously, I didn't since they stuck to the pan.
But he's also got one story of an ugly stepsister,
Yeah.
and just all the old fables and stuff turned into.
Yeah, I've always wanted to read Wicked, but
It's in my office at work right now.
not exactly a top priority to read. So many other good stuff out there.
Yeah, it's hard to say, I'm going to read Wicked. I haven't finished War and Peace yet, or something, 1984, but
One of these days, I'm going to read War and Peace just so I can say I've read War and Peace.
I've read about a third of it.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy.
Is it even entertaining?
It's not bad.
No. I need to read Atlas Shrugged, though. It's another one.
It's as long as you don't take Ayn Rand to heart, because she's real big on class warfare, and she thinks that there are a better class of people out there, and like those that are in the upper class need to be treated better than people in lower class. But there are some other good things in the ideas.
I could see the argument for that, though.
Yeah, but you can't, because some people
I'm
that
just
are
saying-
born of idiots can
Yeah.
become geniuses.
I'm just saying, you can see the argument where she's coming from.
But the government shouldn't be the one that's making those people better.
It's like Gattaca.
Right. It's I haven't read the book, but it's a great movie.
Yeah, it is a great movie. So you like sweet potatoes?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Don't tell my wife. She'll make me eat them all the time.
Right.
She's on this health kick, so everything... She's trying to make me eat food that I hate. And I hate broccoli with a passion. Hate the taste, hate the smell.
Broccoli's delicious.
I hate broccoli.
With cheese.
Broccoli.
And she made some stir fry the other day and put a fuck ton of broccoli in it. And I'm like, I hate this. I think it's the texture more than the taste. It's kind of mush and.
Depends on how you cook it.
I never like the stem part. Like, when
Yeah.
I cook it now, I just leave the stem part out. I'm like,
See,
fuck that.
Less than the better.
I love cauliflower though, and
Yeah.
genetically they're
Well, that's a lot harder.
good stuff.
Cauliflower is pretty good with broccoli
Ranch,
mixed
yeah.
again, and then cheese. You gotta have cheese though. That kind of ruins the health part.
And I'd say that does away with it. Oh, this is great health food. Let's pour some nacho cheese on it.
And same with ranch. That's
I've got some horrible, half decent tasting light fat free nonsense.
I always thought light ranch tastes pretty good.
Yes, but cucumber ranch is disgusting.
Yeah, I do like the cucumber sauce though, like from Athens and those.
Gyros.
We need to learn how to make that stuff.
It's probably one of those recipes that you have to know it. And your aunt has to teach it to you before you can be good at eating.
Dude, we're in the age of the internet. That is my grandma.
Have you ever heard of John Panette?
No.
He's a really big comedian, and he tells this joke about eggplant. He's like, you're not allowed to have eggplant unless your Aunt Maria taught you how to cook it. And he's like, I walk around the store and see a kid with an eggplant, and he's got his tablet. And he's like, are you gonna make that with your aunt's recipe? He goes, no, I found this awesome recipe on the internet. He goes, I slap the eggplant, I slap the tablet, and I walk away. It's like, you don't make it unless you're someone you know taught you how to make it.
I don't even know if I've ever had eggplant.
I've had it. It made me sick. I had it at a restaurant in D.C.
What's it taste like?
I don't even
Eggs
remember.
and plant?
It tastes like pasta sauce and cheese, which was what they smothered it with.
Well, that doesn't count.
Yeah, but I got sick within 15 minutes of eating it.
Like allergic sick or just,
No, just
taste sick?
It messed with my stomach. Too many vegetables in one platter for me.
This is too healthy for me.
There's a Simpsons episode about that. She makes the family eat a bunch of vegetables and they get sick from the parasites on it because they're not used to it.
Quick, somebody give me a Twinkie. No, they're going out of business.
Deep fry that shit. Yeah, John McCain posted a thing on his website about how he'd be upset that he couldn't have a deep fried Twinkie at whatever his state fair this year.
Whatever.
Like, don't perpetuate how fat we are as a nation. I say this sitting in the room with two skinny fucks.
I tried, man. I try to be fat.
You've got skinny Asian genes. It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
There's only two, and this is horribly racist, and it's a joke, so it's not racist. There's only two Asians: the big guys and you. So I mean,
Yeah, you
there's
either
no
go
real-
sumo or
there's no middle ground. There's either the mob boss that's kind of big and bulky, or you. Just watch Fast and the Furious; they'll show you. Tokyo
Jen.
Drift.
Jen from Lost. Medium-sized Asian man.
I guess
he's still skinny.
he's still.
He was just built
Yeah.
Jet Li.
skinny.
Really skinny.
Yeah, that's
Are
tiny.
you talking about kind of pudgy but not fat?
Yeah, there's no in
There's no-
betweener.
There's no like.
They're either. I mean, they can be fit, but they're still small.
I'm trying to think of a
kinda
mid-ground
skinny.
person at this point. For some reason, my Ricky Gervais 10 years ago, before he got all skinny.
Hero from Heroes.
I guess he's the
in-betweener.
Son.
Too fat.
Yeah.
Why is it the in-betweeners are always the comical ones?
Well, that's why guys my height always funny, or my size funny and defensive. It's
Because it's a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
They obviously aren't going to be fucking ninjas.
They couldn't go the ninja route, so they had to be funny.
The hands are too big to work on circuit boards. Wow, this is a horrible conversation. I feel bad for it. But he's Asian, so it negates all powers.
And we call him Gook.
Right. Unless I'm in Columbus.
Oh, yeah.
And people get all pissy about it. Although, that was pretty random the one time we were in Columbus and they shouted like, did they say fucking Asian or look at that chink? I don't know what they said.
Yeah, maybe something.
They all something. I was like, really? That doesn't even happen in Shelby that I know of.
Oh, what happens? I was playing Black Ops 2 last night
Yeah.
with some guys I know, and one of them, I don't know him, but he's friends with the ones I was playing with, got on and started just dropping every racial slur in the book, and I'm like, I can't deal with this. And just
Yeah.
I refuse to be in a party with that guy, essentially, because it's fucking 2012. Get over it. We've proven at this point we're genetically the same people, so fuck off.
People gotta be racist, man. That's how they are.
I can't deal with people's bullshit.
Yeah, well, one of my uncles is pretty ridiculous. Like, his son got a girlfriend, and he's like, so the first thing I asked was is she black? I'm like, really? Like,
My wife was talking about a lady that we ran into, and the lady's like, we taught our daughter that love has no bounds, and yada yada. So her baby's mixed. And she said it like that, and like she was trying to say that she doesn't care. But if you have to explain that you don't care, you fucking care.
yeah.
I never say, there's my black friend Lenny. I say, there's my friend Lenny. It's not...
We do have to sometimes distinguish black Lenny and white Lenny, but that's
right,
just for context.
I don't ever say black Lenny. I say white Lenny. I identify white Lenny in my stories. I don't... And it's not a conscious choice. It's because white Lenny's not that much of my friend.
Yeah.
He's Evan's friend. He's not my friend.
It's true.
Meanwhile, Lenny is hilarious and is my friend.
I've never understood, though, why he identifies that he's black.
Right. He also
We all identify that he's black, but he's mixed. Why?
Right. He makes fun of himself for being mixed.
Yeah.
And, you know, they call him HBL, half black Lenny, and they call Harry calls him Half-Frickin'.
African?
And Lenny thinks it's hilarious. And if Lenny didn't think it's hilarious, we wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But he also identifies as white or mixed because there'll be times where he'll walk in the room and my wife will say something derogatory about him, just, you know, his stupid ass hat he's wearing, and he's like, is this because I'm white? And Gina's like, yes, white people are not allowed to dress like that. And the thing that drives me crazy about Lenny came to me one day, we were at my house, and he asked me to teach him how to play bass.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, Lenny, let's sit down. I gave him a couple simple lessons because I'm, like I said, not that good. And he was decent at it. And one day I was at Lenny's house, his dad's house. And Lenny's dad is a grandmaster guitar player, essentially.
Really?
Like, he's sitting there playing this 70s...
Is his dad white or black?
His dad's white.
White, okay.
He's sitting there playing this 70s Gibson Les Paul guitar, just shredding.
Yeah.
And now that I think about this might be Mark witnessed this firsthand and I heard the story. Either way. And we're just like, Lenny, why are we teaching you how to play guitar? Your dad is a wizard on guitar. Because dude's just sitting there, barely paying attention, just rocking out hardcore riffs. And I'm like, why am I involved in your education process? I'm like, you just want to hang out more, tell me. But don't make me teach you something so we can hang out. I don't... His family's interesting.
Yeah, I never understood the mix always go towards the black. Like they're...
Well, it also
they
could be
say
whatever their skin tone is. I don't want to make
Yeah.
assumptions because I'm going to end up sounding terrible in them.
Yeah.
But we had a couple kids in school that were like that they identified with whatever suited.
Well, I mean, that's just more proof that it really doesn't matter because it's all just skin tone. Oh, you have darker skin, you're black. No, it's just I have darker skin. It doesn't really account for anything except skin color.
I'm playing Assassin's Creed 3, right? And the main character in this game is Indian. American Indian, you know, feather, not dot, which is an Indian friend of mine's joke. He's a dot, not feather.
I'm Native American, sir. I'm not Indian. How dare you disgrace my race?
Anyway, at one point in this game, early on when you're playing this Indian kid, his mentor is an old black guy named Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
And Achilles, the Indian kid tells him his name, and it's like 12 letters long and mostly consonants. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. He's like, your skin's light enough that you could pass for Italian. We're going to call you Connor. And everybody, it's sort of like the kid has some little bit of social commentary about it, but everybody just accepts that this guy running around dressed like an Indian is Italian named Connor. And I'm like, it's a little off to me. It's just like, everybody hates Indians, so you're Connor now.
That is pretty funny.
I know it's Civil War times, and not Civil War, but Revolutionary War times, but shit's still the same half the country.
Yeah.
People are fucking racist.
Our president is still black.
Yeah, we got a black president.
But he's half black.
Yeah, but we also have a white president.
And Christopher Titus makes fun of his white side all the time. He's like, I'm not afraid of him because he's black. I'm afraid because he's white, and white people are fucked up. We bomb brown people. That's essentially what white guys do.
Yeah, that's fine. Got really racial up in here.
It tends to. I'm still pissed about that lady that comes to our SSA meetings being so fucking racist.
Cody, you should have ninja'd her. Just like gone into karate mode and just chopped her.
We should just invite a bunch of black people to our next meeting. like,
that's her when she walked in. Not tell them that we're saying anything, but yeah, that's her. Keep trying.
Don't worry. They don't have a sense of community, so they'll end up fighting and go out
Right.
and commit crimes.
Okay.
So she has no worries. And then they'll go play basketball. Too racist.
No.
Too soon.
Too soon. I saw a great picture online of Lincoln, and it says, I hear Lincoln's doing really good in theaters, contrary to popular history.
Yep.
Which is just great. Lincoln's my second favorite president of all time.
I need to watch that movie.
Yeah.
Who's your first favorite president?
Stonewall Jackson. Sam Jackson. He,
Good old George W. President ever.
President Jackson regularly dueled people with pistols in the White House lawn.
That is awesome.
And there was one time a guy insulted his wife,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, all right, we're going to go duel. And he lets the guy shoot him in the chest, takes the shot, pulls his pistol up, kills the guy.
It's outrageous.
Yeah. There was one president, I don't remember who it was, that
I guess
had
he earned his name.
it might have been President Aaron, that had a bullet in his chest during his inauguration speech.
I think that was Roosevelt.
Was it?
Teddy.
Yeah, that guy was fuck nut crazy anyway, though. He goes to Canada and poaches like hundreds of animals, comes back, and 2 days later gives a speech on conservation and importance of conserving animals and whatnot.
That is pretty funny.
He had severe asthma
Mm-hmm.
and ran it off. He was the founder of the Rough Riders. He's crazy. Some kid was complaining about how much.
I thought that was DMX.
Wrong reference. That dude's crazy too, but completely different reasons.
Does he still make music?
I think he's a producer or in prison.
Maybe both.
And he keeps going back to jail for shit.
He's one of those rappers that still does crack.
Yeah.
Can't get out of the habit.
Nobody's as bad as what was his name? I think it was Redman, the guy who cashed his welfare check on MTV. He signed a $1 million paycheck or $1 million contract.
Yeah.
Walks over and cashes this, and he didn't think he'd go to jail for it.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody from the IRS was watching and goes, "Really? Go check this out, make sure it's real." And
That
turns
is
out, yeah, he
pretty
did it.
funny.
He went to jail for welfare fraud.
Just shows you how shitty the system is.
Yeah.
They can't really keep track of things like that.
One guy got caught, but imagine how many actually get away with doing shit like that all the time.
One guy got caught because he was on TV
Yeah.
and he's famous.
That's crazy. Our broken ass system.
Yeah. Now we're gonna have Obamacare. When's that take effect? Will that take
Parts of it are already in.
Yeah, but like in full effect. When's that? Probably sometime soon, I would think.
Yeah, there's also the big thing on the internet right now is Papa John's. Have you seen this nonsense about Papa John?
No.
Okay, the guy who owns Papa John, I want to say Markovich, but I think that's Jordan's last name. Fix that.
Okay.
But he has a mansion that's essentially a castle,
Mm-hmm.
and like they showed pictures of it. It's got an 18-hole golf course, Olympic-sized pool, 15-car garage. It's huge. It's
Well, obviously.
fucking ridiculous. And then it shows a quote where he says that he isn't willing to increase the price of his pizzas by 14 cents to cover Obamacare, so he's going to have to cut 3% of the workforce or 8% of the workforce on.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, a week later after saying this, he gives away 2 million pizzas for an NFL stunt.
That is so outrageous.
Some mathematicians and tax guys sat down and did it up, and he'd actually only have to charge 5 cents a pizza to make up the
Extra?
difference. Yeah. And I don't know anybody that's not willing to pay 5 cents extra to make sure 5,000 people get to keep their goddamn jobs.
Yeah.
I am more than willing to...
Well, when you run an entire corporation, those tend to be the people that won't.
Right. It's ridiculous.
That's actually at our work where they cut our holiday, our floating holiday. We don't get that anymore starting in January. And they also cut like a lot of things from our health care. And if you're like, it's originally if you're 30 hours or more, you get all those benefits. Now you have to be like 37.5 hours or more. And somebody was ranting, it's like, it's because of Obamacare. It's because of Obamacare. I'm like, okay, we get it. You don't like Obamacare. But it's also probably because the billable hours for this whole year were really far down.
But there's shit that drives me crazy otherwise. Like, my company changes healthcare companies every year.
Yeah, ours have changed 3 times since I've been there.
And the one we're currently with, that thank God we're getting rid of, took them 7 months to get pre-existing condition out of the way.
Yeah.
Which part of Obamacare
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a
gets
part
rid
of
of
Obama.
pre-existing condition altogether. And I'm
For all insurances.
Right. I'm $14,000 in debt to Med Central hospitals because there was a period of time where I didn't have a job and wasn't in school. Oh, I had a job, but they didn't. It was 30 hours a week, and I didn't have insurance and wasn't in school, so I couldn't be on my parents' insurance.
And you made too much money to be a part of like Medicaid or anything?
Right. And I ended up in the hospital twice that year for asthma problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in school, but I was past 21, so I wasn't able to be on my
Which
parents'
is changing
insurance.
Obamacare to
Right.
25 now, too.
26.
26, okay.
So if Obamacare would have been in effect then, I still would have been on my parents' insurance, and I would,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be $14,000 in debt. But no, instead I'm just avoiding those phone calls because if you don't answer the phone for 12 years, it falls off and they can't bug you about it anymore.
I'm kind of impartial about Obamacare because...
I've got good insurance, so at the moment I don't care.
Well, as libertarian, I would think I'd rather not have any government-run program, but where we're at, we can never have that.
See, I would actually, I tend to lean libertarian, but I like the idea of socialized medicine because everywhere that it exists, it works.
That's also debatable, like Canada, where there's always a huge wait for anything, but
if you
I would rather wait an hour at an emergency room if I'm covered.
And, you've got a problem, a doctor's not worried about whether or not you're going to be able to afford and the guy, I don't remember what center it was, said that nobody's ever died because they were denied health care on insurance reasons.
Yeah,
that's bullshit. The lead singer of Death, the band that invented death metal, died from a brain tumor because the insurance company, the hospital didn't recognize musician as a occupation. And wouldn't accept he didn't have health insurance, and they wouldn't because it's not a constant flow of money. And he died of brain cancer because of it.
I'm sure it happens a lot more than that.
But that's just, I'm a death metal fan, so I know about Chuck Schuldiner dying from...
Emergency update, we might have somebody coming over to debate with us.
Awesome.
And play board games afterwards. It could get epic.
But
not to derail the conversation, but...
No, it's people die from it, and they talk about death panels for Obamacare.
Yeah.
There's death panels now. It's just they're not national death panels. They're insurance company death panels. Mm-hmm. I have a group of people I have to talk to anytime I need a major thing done. Like I had to get a CAT scan a couple years ago, and I had to go to a panel, and the panel decided whether or not my reason for needing it was good enough. And then they decided where I was allowed to have.
Yeah.
So I wasn't allowed to go to the hospital for my CAT scan. I had to go to an imaging center for my CAT scan.
Well, I agree,
the system's messed up.
Yeah, it's all fucked up. But I think one of the biggest problems, too, is doctors they're so worried about being sued.
Right.
That needs to be fixed. That's one of the biggest issues.
If there's a major issue that is obviously a doctor's fault that they purposely did, or...
Just a complete screw-up, like, wrong leg I cut off, might be...
Right. I understand that. But your doctor insults you or doesn't call you back in time, you shouldn't be able to sue over something stupid like that.
Yeah.
There is a rule in lawsuits called frivolous lawsuit where the lawyer can get in trouble for bringing suit against someone if it's not justified.
Yeah, and that should be enforced a little more.
And they don't. There's a senator in Idaho that's trying to get rid of that law.
Really?
And his way of protesting the existence of this law, suing God for natural disasters.
Yeah, have you seen the movie about that?
No.
There's a guy that his boat was destroyed by like some kind of storm.
Yeah.
And he went to the insurance company and said, no, it was an act of God, so we can't pay for it. So he went to like the state to sue God to get his money back.
The state of Idaho, the judge that dismissed the case, the only grounds that he dismissed the case on was the fact that you can't serve God papers. So no one can deliver papers to God to tell him he's being sued.
I think it was a similar happenstance.
Yeah, and that's just... I understand that you should be able to bring suit against someone if there's an actual reason.
Yeah.
But maybe there should just be a court of, deciding whether it's frivolous or not before it gets to actual court.
No shit. Alright, we're going to end this one soon because we're going to start a new podcast because we got people coming over for a sweet debate. So be sure to listen to episode 11 right after this because it'll be a good one. Out.
It's making me